Welcome to the FX Options Weekly Outlook, a weekly podcast series hosted by Jason Ayres, a top instructor, trader, and founder of OptionSource.net. Join Jason as he discusses the latest trends in the Forex market with a look ahead on the US dollar versus the major currencies using the most commonly used technical indicators.
Hi there and welcome to the ISC FX Options Weekly Outlook for March 29th, 2010. As always, this is Jason Ayres of OptionSource.net. Let's take a look at a weekly chart of the US dollar index. This is a great way to gain some perspective as to how the US dollar has been trading against a basket of currencies. While the US dollar pushed higher into our 82.5 focal zone here that we've had on our radar as an important upside target for quite some time. Now at this point, we can adjust our support levels here down into the 80.5 to 81 focal zone. Should the uptrend continue, we will be targeting the 84-85 box in the bigger picture. Now a quick look at our daily snapshot just shows the important consolidation that has taken place at that 80.5 to 81 focal zone, which makes it an important support level. You can see that we did see at the end of the week some rejection from that 82 target, which suggests that we should be open to the possibility of a slight pullback. However, once again, the path of least resistance continues to be to the upside. We'll be looking at the 84, which is the lower point of our 84-85 focal zone as a logical target should the US dollar continue higher against most of the majors. Well, the U.S. dollar managed to gain some ground back against the Canadian dollar as seen here in the CDD. We talked about this 102.5 focal zone being an important level of resistance. The pair value managed to inch its way higher and consolidates within that focal zone at this point. Now, should we see a follow-through to the upside, we'll be targeting the 104.5 focal zone within the next couple of weeks. Let's take a look now at the YUK, the US versus the Japanese yen. Well, we were looking last week at the possibility of a bull flag forming and the importance of this really short-term trend line here, and suggested that a break above that level should likely yield a push higher. Now, we did see a very significant rally in the US dollar against the yen, tapping right into our 93 target. At this point, we are seeing a little bit of an apprehension at this level, which would suggest the possibility of a retracement down into this 91.5, 92 focal zone. Should the pair value break above 93, we'll be looking at a push towards 94.5, 95. Well, the U.S. dollar finally tapped into our 74.5, 75 focal zone as it traded higher against the euro last week. Now, at this point, we are seeing some apprehension at this level as well, suggesting that we might see a pullback to test support now, which is in at that 73.5, 74 focal zone. If the pair value breaks 75, we'll be looking at a push towards the 76, 76.5 box. Well, the U.S. dollar also inched higher against the British pound, and at this point we can see here that the pair value is holding a support level above 66.5, 67. Now, as long as we see the pair value consolidate within this range, we are open to the possibility of an extended move higher, which would have us targeting the 68, 69 box. Let's take a look at the AUX, the US versus the Australian dollar. Well, we can see here that the pair value broke a near-term trend line. However, there is some apprehension up at this 111, 112 focal zone, suggesting that we should be open to the possibility of some retracement back down into this 109, 110 range. Now, as long as the pair value holds support within this focal zone here, we can be open to the possibility of a continuation higher. Now, what would lend further credibility to that is, of course, a break above 111, and at that point we'd be looking for a test into this 113, 114 box. Let's take a look at a few of our key points. First of all, the US dollar index hit the 82 resistance level and rejected at the end of last week. Although we may see a pullback to test 81 for support, the trend in force continues to be up. The CDD inched higher last week, breaking 102, but continues to show weakness. Consolidation above 102 this week will lend more credibility to a strengthening US dollar against the Canadian dollar. The YUK made a significant move higher last week, hitting a projected resistance. The pair displayed some signs of apprehension at this level, suggesting that a retracement back towards 92 should be considered. The EUI finally hit 75, which has been in place as a strong resistance for a while. We are open to the possibility of a retracement. However, the dollar remains in a strong uptrend against the euro in the bigger picture. The PPX broke and held above 67 this week, lending further credibility to a push into 68. The AUX broke a short-term trend line, however, closed off of the highs on Friday, suggesting a possible test of support back down within the 109-110 focal zone. We need to see this level hold to lend credibility to any further U.S. dollar strengthening against the Australian dollar. And finally, this has been your ISE FX Options Weekly Outlook for March 29th, 2010. As always, this is Jason Ayres of OptionsSource.net. Thanks very much for joining us this week. We'll see you here next week.
Thank you for participating in this week's session. Please join us again next week. For trading ideas, exchange rates, webinars, news, and commentary, visit www.fxoptions.com. Become an OptionSource.net member. Visit www.optionsource.net. ISE FX options can be easily traded through all options-enabled brokerage accounts. These exchange-listed securities are cash-settled in U.S. dollars and have a European-style exercise.